Good morning, this is Kai Viola coming at you with another video. Here we go, coffee and Jesus. So, I ask the Lord what his thoughts are. I pray. I open my Bible. I just come to this page. It's a fantastic read right here, so I'm just going to share this with you right now. You ready for this? This is good instructions, revelation, and I pray that revelation and wisdom would be opened up to us in Jesus' name. All right, here we go. 1 Peter chapter 2, verse 9 says this, "But you are God's chosen treasure." You are God's chosen treasure. Imagine you walking everyday life knowing that you are God's chosen treasure. How much of a different mindset do you have? All right, here we go. Priests who are kings, a spiritual nation set apart as God's devoted ones. He called you out of darkness to experience his marvelous light, and now he claims you as his very own. He did this so that you would broadcast his glorious wonders throughout the world. For at one time you were not God's people, but now you are. At one time you knew nothing of God's mercy, because you hadn't received it yet, but now you are drenched with it. And by the way, again, this is the Passion Translation. It's the same meaning in the Hebrew and the Aramaic. That's what it's drawing actually from the Aramaic, the Hebrew, and the Greek, and is bringing light to what the word is really saying. So that's why I love the Passion Translation. It's actually more real than what maybe you have seen before. It says the same thing though. All right, verse 11, live in godly lives. My divinely loved friends, since you are resident aliens and foreigners in this world. Okay, we Christians, we're the resident aliens and foreigners because our citizenship is in heaven and we're just visiting this earth in this timeline, in this temporary time, until we're taken to our true home. I appeal to you to divorce yourselves from the evil desires that wage war within you. Live honorable lives as you mix with unbelievers. I don't want to just gloss over this, but he's saying that live honorable lives. I appeal you to divorce yourselves from the evil desires that wage war within you. So there's a war that happens inside of us at times. And we have to divorce ourselves from the evil desires that wage war within us, that wage war in the world. So as we mix with unbelievers, it says, even though they accuse you, us, of being evildoers, for they will see your beautiful works. So it's all about works still. Faith comes by hearing, and James says, you see my faith by my works. So there is something about producing fruit, doing things out of faith. For they will see your beautiful works and have a reason to glorify God in the day he visits us. So it's not just passive Christianity, we just sit on the couch. There is something about waiting on the Lord, which is good to understand and exercise. But also, faith comes by works. You can see my faith by my works. By doing these videos shows an expression of my faith. I'm having faith that it's going to impact you, impact somebody, and it's going to help. All right, next step. In order to honor the Lord, you must respect and defer to the authority of every human institution, whether it be the highest ruler or the governors he puts in place to punish lawbreakers and to praise those who do what's right. So we actually are called to respect human institution. We are to respect government and authority, whoever it may be in that authority. However, it doesn't mean that we don't express righteousness. We need to enforce and desire and pray for righteousness to be done in our rulers and governors and whoever's in authority, because they are in authority in human standards, in these structures. We have to pray for them. For it is God's will for you to silence the ignorance of foolish people by doing what is right. So we are still called to do what's right, okay? As God's loving servants, you should live in complete freedom. That's our calling, to live in complete freedom. but never use your freedom as a cover-up for evil. Recognize the value of every person. Every person is valuable, recognizing their value, and continually show love to every believer. Now, the reason why every person is also valuable is because every person is made in the image of God. And unfortunately, people still choose to do evil, and we make mistakes and we mess up. But we have to pray for people. So that's why Jesus teaches, pray for your enemies. If there's our enemies of you, the real enemy is Satan and the demonic happening in the spiritual realm behind closed doors. So on the outside, we see the human who is made in the image of God, who is still loved by God. So we have to pray for them. But that doesn't mean we just submit to what and conform to the evil of other people, but we have to pray. So Jesus says, pray for your enemies. Live your lives with great reverence and in holy awe of God. Honor your rulers. So I'm going to leave it at that. There's even more to talk about. Go into chapter 1, 1 Peter chapter 2, and read it for yourself and see what you think and see what God reveals to you. And again, I encourage you to get into the Word, because there are instructions for us on how to live in this life and to live successfully and excellently that is pleasing to God. So God bless you, and I will see you next time. Peace.